Hi, welcome back to Susan's Kitchen Corner. On today's episode, we're going to be making graham flour tortillas. What's graham? Graham flour was invented by Sylvester Graham, I believe in the 1800s. He was a preacher, and if you ever heard of graham crackers, graham flour, same flour that's used to make graham crackers, which you make s'mores with. But we're not doing that today. We're making flour tortillas, which are really good. These flour tortillas are really good for quesadillas because it's a light, crispy texture, and they have a very delicious flavor, which I really like. This is the brand I use. It's called Deer brand. Now, this isn't something you buy and you use right away. This is going to last you a while. This is not a whole bag. I got an extra storage bin, and as you can see, there's a lot of graham flour here. And you don't use very much of it in your flour tortillas. You use a small amount because it really incorporates into the flour. So here's our ingredients: 7 ounces of milk, 1 teaspoon. There's my tablespoon coming through. I apologize. I don't know where it comes from. It just comes out tablespoon. 1 teaspoon baking powder. And you're going to need, we're going to start with almost 2 cups of flour. So let's do this. Get your flour, get your measuring cup, scoop it in. So we're going to have it at about 1 1/2 cup, like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill up the rest of the cup, the measuring cup, with graham flour. So just put it in there until it levels off 2 cups. This is going to make the dough a lot softer. Okay, so if you can see that, you got all that flour, and you just have the top. You have, again, 1.5 cups of flour from the 1.5 all the way up to 2 cups of graham flour. So put that in your bowl. And if you guys can't tell, if you see it, my cutting board already has flour on it because yes, I have been cooking. So 7 ounces of milk is about 13 tablespoons of milk. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If a little bit spills over, no worries. Okay, and then we're going to put that on low, and we're gonna make this warm. We're gonna wait till so check it with your finger. It's right down here. It's not gonna bubble. It's not gonna do anything fantastic. It's just gonna warm up. So stick your finger in it, spin it around, and then when it feels room temperature, that's when it's done. This is moving along just like the other video. You're gonna want to whisk your flours together. Get your measuring spoon and find the 1 teaspoon. Now, my other video, some people like it with 1/2 teaspoon, some people like it with 1 teaspoon. So it's all up to you what kind of texture you want. So it's like I kind of do things both ways because you never know. Somebody might like, oh, well, this is too fluffy and it's too this and it's too that, because everyone has different taste buds. So that's why I kind of change things around, because it's like not everyone's going to want to do it the same way. Okay, so let's put that back in. When it has flour on it, if this has flour on it, just hit it. Flour isn't a liquid. It's not going to it's not going to really do anything. Think of it as dust. And let's not forget our olive oil. Okay, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And again, doesn't have to be olive oil. It can be completely something different, and this is done. It can be, when you're doing flour tortillas, oil is oil. If you want to use vegetable oil, if you want to use canola oil, you can use peanut oil. Well, I don't know if peanut oil would taste very good, but you could use it. In dire straits, you could use it. But olive oil, the reason I like olive oil so much, let's clean out our tablespoon a little bit, is because it's nice flavor. And like I said before, I love baking with olive oil and cooking with olive oil because good olive oil you can digest. It's the only, if you get the good olive oil, your body can digest it. The other oils you can't really digest at all. But then again, that's my preference. That's what I like. So we have put 2 tablespoons, and that's the right way, 2 tablespoons of olive oil into 7 ounces of milk, which is 13 tablespoons. And again, when you put it into the flour, always remember, don't put all of it at once. You want to put a little bit at a time. So let's find our handy dandy spatula, which makes its guest appearance all the time on this show. Pour it in the flour a little bit, so we have a little bit left, like that. See it in there? Not all of it. And this is going to be a real different texture from the regular flour tortilla dough. It's going to be a lot softer, so you want to be careful. And it's going to look yellow because of the gram flour. Even though we didn't put that much gram flour in, it really does overwhelm the flour. Okay, add some more. And again, if you don't have enough liquid and this is just turning into crumbs and you're like, wait a minute, all my liquid's gone. What's going on? And it's like, it's not forming. Take some more milk, put 2 to 3 tablespoons in, warm it up, add it. You're perfectly fine. And what I like to do is I like to chop it. If you can see what I'm doing, you kind of go sideways, chop it in. You want to make sure you get all that flour and it's starting to look yellow. So let's work that around. Flour tortillas was my first video. So I'm going to do other flour tortillas. There's tons of flour tortillas. My first videos, I think I had a little bit of a rough start. I deleted one of them. I didn't like it. I was like, okay, yeah, you know, I'm more rambling than I am cooking. So, but that's okay. You live and you learn. But there is so many different types of flour tortillas you can make. Okay, so we got our, let's see. Yeah, let's see if this is going to work. See, I got some liquid still in there. So let's make a dough. See if it holds together. You don't want this too wet. It's a little bit dry. When you cook things, you always sight, feel. You'll notice that I'm touching the food a lot. Well, I have to. I'm making a dough out of it. But it's a little dry, so let's add a little bit more. I'm going to try to see if I can scrape some of that olive oil off the top. Just add a little bit. And this is where I don't want to put my hands in it. Turn it over, just squish it in. I have a feeling one of these days my poor spatula is going to go to spatula heaven. I'll get a new one. Okay. Now it's really goopy. Not goopy, but see how it's sticking? I don't know if you can hear that, but it's real sticky. Okay, now let's see. This is how much liquid I had left. Not that I want to, but I probably had, let's measure it out. Let's see how much liquid I didn't use. Tablespoon and a half. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So we have a tablespoon and a half left. So let's sprinkle some flour because we don't want this stickiness, and lightly coat it. Okay, we're going to take it out of the bowl, put that away, and then what we're going to do is we're going to knead it. And on my other video, okay, flour tortillas, graham tortillas, tortillas, whatever. You can knead these for about 5 minutes if you want. You can knead it real quick, like, okay, just knead it a few times, like as much as I have, and voila. If you're in a rush, you can stop here. If you want to continue kneading it for 5 minutes, you can. It's all up to you, and it all turns out just the same. Okay, well, I'm going to stop here, and I'll be back. What we're going to do after this, we're going to let it rest about 30 minutes. And again, like my other flour tortilla I say talk about, you can let this rest for, it's okay to let it rest for about 30 minutes total. If it's one of these things where if you want to let it rest for 5 minutes, you can. If you want to let it rest for 15 minutes, you can. It's all up to you. So, like on my other flour tortilla video, if it sits out for 2 days, get a hazmat suit and remove it from your kitchen. But if it sits out for 30 minutes, it's fine. Because think about it, if you're making a double batch of this stuff, and let's say this is the first batch, you put it in the little pan to rest, like get a bowl, chuck it in, find a lid, which I have tons of them, and now I usually turn the lid upside down. This isn't bread dough. It's not going to rise. It's not going to go into the. It's not going to go into the. It's not going to rise up into the handle. So the lid doesn't fit. Stick it on upside down and let it rest about 15, 20. Again, it's up to you. If you're in a rush, there's no requirement saying you have to. It just resting about 15 minutes is good. It just makes it more pliable. So I'll be right back and we'll make some graham flour tortillas. Okay,